Welcome to another episode of Veterans View. And here today we have two of our outstanding people with me today. First, we have Judge Michael Bellamy, who's a circuit court judge for Russell County and the presiding elder judge.
Not presiding elder, presiding judge.
The presiding judge. I throw that elder in there just to give you a little more credibility. Okay. And also we have Miss Jody Sellers, who's the circuit clerk for Russell County judicial system. Okay, and we're going to start with Judge Bellamy with the first question, but we want you to tell us a little bit of something. I know you're from Phoenix City, everybody know you, but we got new veterans in the area that don't know you, so tell us something about you and where you started at.
Well, I guess in thinking about what you said, elder, I am the eldest judge on the bench, so I guess I am an elder. Mm-hmm. Contrary to popular belief, I have not retired. I do not intend to retire. Okay. I hope to continue this term, which will be about 2.5 more years. Mm-hmm. I've been blessed to be able to come back to my hometown of Phoenix City. I practiced law for a period of time. Then I became a municipal court judge in Phoenix City and still practice law. Did that for 14 years. Mm-hmm. I then ran for circuit judge, lost the election, and decided I would just be full-time lawyer. Almost did not run for judge again, but I decided after a couple of years and some encouragement, ran for district court judge and did not have to run. I got appointed by Governor James to district court bench. Then I ran unopposed. Subsequently, there was a vacancy on the circuit court bench, and I got appointed to replace my dear friend Judge Green. And I've run unopposed for that position, and I'm still serving and have now served as presiding judge, I guess about 5 years, and have enjoyed doing what I do. And sometimes I say no. I think you were one of the few people I told no. I started the adult drug court, the juvenile dependency drug court, the family dependency drug court, and you asked me to start drug court, and I said no more courts for this judge right now. And thankfully, Judge Johnson stepped up to the plate and started the Veterans Court judge. Veterans Court. Mm-hmm. However, I have started the mental health court recently. That's the last court that we've started. So we're blessed to have a wonderful staff. Mr. Tommy Powell, I think, who you interviewed, is doing a great job. He and his staff, they keep it going. Blessed to have a clerk who helps with all that too. And I am thoroughly blessed, as I tell my colleagues, the other judges. They make my job a whole lot easier as presiding judges. I've not asked any of them to do something that they've not been able to do so. So instead of me having all the courts that I had at one time, Judge Collins does the juvenile drug court, the family dependency drug court, and Judge Johnson does the adult drug court and the veterans court. And I only handle the mental health court at this point.
Okay, well, thank you. And we're not going away from you, not yet, but first we want to get Miss Jody to introduce herself and tell us about her journey, and she's a native Russell County as well.
Thank you for having me on. Yes, I have moved back and forth from here to Lee County, but I've lived in Russell County, and now I live back in Russell County. I've been with the circuit clerk's office since I was 21. So I may tell my age.
About 5 years?
Yes. So I'm working on year 32. So I've been clerk for 2, and it's been a journey. Learned a lot, enjoy what I do. It's great having judges that you can work with, and it's good to see the programs we have. But my journey's been real simple. I've been there a long time.
Right, so. And we're going to cover a lot with you because your office is very important because when it comes down to voting, absentee balloting, and all of that.
That's
so
right.
We're going to cover a little of that. But first I want to go back to Judge Bellamy to talk about the new mental health court for you can tell the citizen the value of mental health court.
We see every day in the people we see in the court system, people who have all kinds of issues. And the whole point of mental health court is not to incarcerate persons, but to get them the supervision and the treatment that they need. And it's a very structured court. We're new at what we're doing, but we looked at courts in Columbus. Was blessed to be able to go over and look at the mental health court in Columbus, talk to my other mentor, Judge John Allen, bless him, who encouraged me to do what I'm doing also. And what we do is those persons who are in that court have a criminal case that's pending. They must have a mental health diagnosis, and we try and provide them with the assistance, supervision, and the treatment that they need, be it East Alabama Mental Health or some private agency, and to monitor them as far as any illegal or improper drugs they may be using, and to make sure that they are monitored as far as their medications and monitored as far as the treatment. Sometimes people need the extra push to put them in the right direction, and putting them in jail is not always a solution to the problem.
Correct. And I would like for you to tell our viewers, because this is Veterans View, about how it affects them too if they get assigned, because we have our own treatment system which will help the veterans even more.
Even when I did the adult drug court, you all did treatment at Tuskegee, I know, for alcohol and drug dependency. And you all, the VA has a lot of resources, which Mr. Powell is aware of, and thank you for your volunteering also, because that helps to point those persons for the treatment that they can get that might be more. It won't cost them anything if it's done for the VA, and it's something that can be done over a long period of time at the VA too.
Okay, well, thank you. Now, coming back to Ms. Sellers, I would like for you to just tell us all the things that your office handles for the court system and for the county.
We do all kinds of things. We do civil suits. That's small ones, big ones, in between ones.
Okay.
We handle the divorces and the child support cases and protection from abuse, which those have picked up some during this pandemic. We do state trooper and deputy sheriff traffic tickets and criminal arrest, and within the county. We do those, and the felony arrests throughout the whole county. So we stay busy, and I do passports and I do absentee elections. So we're real busy. We do a lot of warrants and a lot of customer service.
And I noticed you said you do tickets for the state troopers and for the sheriff, but you left the city out because that's a municipality.
That's right.
Right, and I want our viewers to understand, when you said that.
She handles their appeals.
Yeah, we do get theirs if they appeal. They do come to us, so we could handle them. But yeah, they start down there at the city, and they handle their own misdemeanors and their own city traffic tickets. And those red light tickets, they do those too. So those that they take the picture of you, they handle those too.
Now, how many people works in your office? Because you can have a mighty big office. I mean, you have a big office.
Right now I have 11 employees. And it's gotten slow with this pandemic, which is, it's been different. I can't say better or worse, but it's been different. But there's a total of 11 of us.
Total of 11. So it keeps y'all very busy.
Yeah, we stay pretty busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Judge, with the pandemic, as she said, when do you expect to open back up full time?
That's a good question. Right now, we are scheduled to have jury trials in September. However, next week, we actually have a grand jury coming in. And I want the public to know that we're doing all the things that are necessary. We're doing the social distancing. If you have a particular medical issue, particularly if you're positive, of course, and symptomatic, we don't want you at the courthouse for COVID. We don't want you there. And just let us know. Send it in writing. Do not bring it to the courthouse, and you'll be excused. We also, the AOC, Administrative Office of Courts, has come up with a wonderful system to try and summons jurors. But the grand jury that's coming next week is a grand jury that was in session in February and January of this past year. And the law allows that I can call them back and ask them to come and hear those cases. And there's some individuals who I think have some concerns. But rather than being in that small small grand jury room, the grand jury will be in the largest courtroom, which will be Judge Johnson's courtroom. So they can be socially distanced, and everyone who enters the courthouse will be checked for temperature. Everyone will have to have a mask on. And if while they're deliberating, they'll be in the large courtroom. They won't be in a confined area that it has been in the past. So please let the public know that we're doing all those things. We're sanitizing every day after court sessions. We actually close on Fridays at 3 o'clock, so everything can be cleaned and sanitized each Friday thoroughly. And then we do it after everybody, the staff who does the maintenance and cleaning, they do it all during the day, trying to make sure that everything is sanitized. We have hand sanitizer is everywhere, and we also make sure if you don't have a mask, we'll make those available for you too.
And I just want to say, Judge, I'm going to ask you to say it also. When you are asked to be on a jury, be on the jury. I lost a lawsuit against General Motors because people got on the jury and said, I know him, So I don't want to be on the jury. They didn't know me; they knew of me because they seen me.
Well,
And my axle had snapped on my truck, and I lost the case because of people saying they knew me when they didn't know me.
well, the standard becomes whether or not, even though they know you, can they be fair and impartial to all the parties involved? That's the question, you know. But sometimes the other party may take them off the jury when they say they know you. They think they may be a bit more sympathetic to you.
Right.
But I would try again to encourage all persons. I know it's a difficult time, particularly as Ms. Sellers and I talked about calling the grand jury back. There was one juror who previously had surgery and is getting radiation treatment and whatever. And I'm saying, I'll excuse him, no problem. We don't want him to come because his immune system is down. But if you have any concerns, by all means call my office. She's made some referrals. I did an email yesterday to a person who has some concerns. But we want to make sure everybody's safe and secure so we can have the system to go about. Persons need to think about, what if my relative or my person was in jail and we're waiting a trial? How long would that be? So hopefully we'll be able to start in September. I think Judge Johnson has the first series of first criminal term of criminal trials. And Ms. Sellers she also has to send out the thing for jurors. She has to send that, and they respond to her. So that's another thing that she does. And we'll make sure that when we do it, the state, again, AOC has set up a system where they can do a lot of this online without having to come to the courtroom and ask the questions. But it will be imperative at some point that the persons will have to come. And to start an actual jury trial, we got to have a minimum, if it's a felony, I think it's 36 persons to actually strike from. When we do that, we've already made sure that we'll do it in the large courtroom, again, so that it can be social distancing. You're not going to be in a box with 12 people. You're going to be spread out so we can, as long as this pandemic is going on.
Right.
So we want to make people be safe and secure.
Right. And Ms. Sellers, let's talk about absentee balloting. What's the process or the procedure for people to go through in order to get an absentee ballot?
Well, first you have to be a registered voter here in Russell County. Those are the ones we do. It's very simple. If you don't want to go vote on voting day, you can request a form and you fill it out. And as long as you're registered, I'll process it and send you a ballot in the mail. Now, we don't get ballots for this November till September 9th, so that's when we'll start the in-person voting. So they can still come in and vote in person if they want to. They get a form, fill it out, I'll give them a ballot, and then they're voted. So it's real simple. The last day to vote in person is October 29th, which is that Thursday before the election. So it's real simple, long as we can depend on the mail to go and come like it is, you know. And a lot of people don't want to get out, so we've already had a lot of requests for that.
My second question
Right.
is for older residents and people with poor immune systems, like the judge mentioned earlier. They probably really need to request an absentee ballot.
It's in their best interest, probably.
So that they won't have to go to the poll and stand in line and possibly get infected. So I just wanted to make sure we touched on that absentee voting part, and also, and I think all of us agree on this, the census report. The census report puts a lot of money in your office and in your office.
Right.
And if people don't do, I'm going to do it this way. Tell us about the census report in your opinion.
In my opinion, it's imperative that everyone gets counted, because they decide, first of all, your representation in particular, the city, county, and state, and also national. It determines how much money you get from the federal government. So we need to make sure we have the numbers so we can get our fair share of whatever's being allocated.
Okay, citizens, you just heard that from Judge Bellman. Now we're going to hear it again from Ms. Jody Sellers, the county clerk.
Well, and it's interesting to see if we've grown any. You know, taking census tells us if we've lost people or they've moved away, and that's interesting to know. And like you said, we get more funding from all departments, get all kinds of things. There's all kinds of, and legislatures and things like that. So it's very important to fill it out. I got mine, filled it out the same day. So it's like, do it, send it in, and be counted. I mean,
and I did mine online, so that you can do it online, or you can call it in person. And the thing that I want to touch on the census report is we stand to lose a legislature seat in Alabama if we don't get the count right.
That's correct.
We don't want to do that, and we stand to take money out of our school system if we don't get the count right. So to me, schools especially, we need to get that census report done. they're already talking about stopping it early. Instead of going all the way through October, they're talking about cutting it off in September. So people out there, if you're listening to me, please do your census report. If you lost the number, you can call me at 706-718-4440. You'll see the number running across the bottom of the screen, and I will give you the number to call. And I believe they can call your office too, can't they, Jody?
I can find it for them.
But we'll do whatever we can to help you get your census report filled out. We'll be right back.
The census counts everyone in this country, and that really means everyone. A hospital patient, yes, that person counts. Newborn Benjamin, yeah, little Ben now counts. Two families that live in the same house, sure thing, they all count. Or David, who's living in his cousin Daniel's garage, he also counts. The census counts everyone to make things better for all of us.
Welcome back. We're now coming to the second part of the show, and we're interviewing Tommy Powell, who works in the court. Tommy, tell us a little something about yourself and your name and what you do.
I'm Tommy Powell. I'm coordinator of all of our drug and veterans courts here in Russell County. We've got 5 different courts. We've got juvenile, family drug court, adult drug court, veterans court, and mental health court. I've been doing all the stuff for about 11 years. I started in 2009, so next month will actually be my anniversary.
Okay, great. And each court is different. We understand that, but we want you to tell us a little more about your actual work.
Okay. Yeah, every court is different. You've got a lot of different challenges with each court, and there's very few counties in Alabama that's going to have all 5 courts under one jurisdiction. I mean, they have, some of them don't even have all 5 courts.
Yeah, well, we're very appreciative here in Russell County because we have the judges and the courts that we need to help our citizens.
Exactly.
You know, one of the things with the court, because as you know, I work with you with Veterans Treatment Court, and I'm going to be working with you with Mental Health Court, and sometimes I even come in with Drug Court. But we have to do different things with everyone in the court. And let's talk about that as far as urinalysis, hair follicles. Tell us, the audience, something about that.
Every one of our courts has got some similarities, even though there are some differences. One of the things is every one of our people that's in our courts have to be drug screened on a regular basis. It varies from 3 times a week depending on if there's a severe drug problem to maybe once a week or every 2 weeks. We do the urinalysis there in-house at the courthouse, so we can detect any drugs. We do 16 different panels. It includes every kind of drug from methamphetamine, heroin, marijuana, cocaine. We do them all. Right. Even alcohol. We can catch alcohol 80 hours back. So that's one of the things we do. Every one of our courts has to have 100 hours of community service somewhere here in the community. And it has to be a nonprofit organization. You know, a church or something along those lines, you know, a civic organization. It cannot be a for-profit business, in other words. Exactly. So they have to do that. They also have to be in treatment, and they are assessed when they come into the courts. We look at their needs, if they need outpatient treatment or if they need maybe residential treatment, because some have a severe enough problem that they have to go for residential treatment and have to be at a resident where they're maybe there from anywhere from 90 days to a year. Okay, and they're on a color code, right? And how do you determine the coding? They're on a color code, and what we do is we assign colors for each one of the individuals that's in our drug courts. We start off with our black color code, which is 3 times a week screening. That's usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have a red color code, which is once a week. We have yellow color code, which is about every 2 weeks, and then green would be about every 3 weeks. Okay. By the time you get to green, you're almost getting ready to finish the program and graduate from the program. But it's a random system. You have to call a phone number every morning to determine what the color for that day is. For instance, today's color was yellow. Okay. So anybody that's on the yellow color code has to come in for a drug screen today. If they do not come in, it's considered a positive. Okay. So we've talked about the drug screens and everything. Mention something about the hair follicle test. Hair follicles are a test with the COVID-19 stuff that we had going on. We had about 2.5 months of shutdown. And as a result, we were not really able to drug screen people on a regular basis like we needed to because of the social distancing and not coming in contact with folks. So when we came back, we basically made the decision to do hair follicles, every one of our folks in our drug courts and our veterans courts and mental health court. What they do is they take a sample of hair off of your head. They send that to the lab. They determine if there's any drug substance in that hair follicle. Now this hair follicle goes back 90 days. So that was the beauty of us doing this as we came out of the shutdown. The 2.5 month time frame, if we're going to catch anything that they did within that time frame. And I'm sad to say that approximately half of the folks were positive for methamphetamines or some other drug.
Yeah, well,
unfortunately.
And I remember that because we did give some people a weekend in jail.
Yes, we did.
For sanctions for doing that. Well, I want to thank you for coming in and telling us about what you do in the court. And of course, we appreciate your work. And now we'll take a station break because we got to pay some bills.
Okay.
At over 160 locations around the world, over 30,000 volunteers served troops and their families during more than 7 million USO visits last year. That's a lot of coffee served with a smile. It's a friendly face, a warm greeting, and knowing the USO will be there when it counts. When home seems far away, our volunteers provide comfort, care, and connectivity. From Japan to Afghanistan, each of our volunteers bring their own unique gifts and talents, but they all have one thing in common: a dedication to lifting the spirits of our troops and their families. Our troops around the world count on the USO to be their home away from home, and the USO counts on our volunteers to make that happen. So from everyone here at the USO, we want to say thank you.
And today our guest will be Judge David Johnson, who is a circuit court judge in Russell County and also the Veterans Treatment Court judge. Judge Johnson, would you tell us something about yourself from Central High School to present?
I'll go back further than Central. Born and raised in here, grew up out in Crawford, went to high school at Central. From Central I went to the University of Alabama for undergraduate. Okay. Got a double major in history and political science. Then went to law school at Alabama. Then the DA's office in Shelby County, then the DA's office here. Then I opened my own office and practiced anything came through the door, just small town law. Then I became a district judge in 2010. I was elected. And we started with Leroy's pushing, no doubt, a Veterans Treatment Court that got going in 2012, and we've been going strong ever since.
Yes, good. Well, let's talk about the Veterans Treatment Court, because I know the Phoenix City and Russell County is a veterans-friendly community. So why did you think that it was important to start that Veterans Treatment Court?
Yeah. As I said, Leroy and some other veterans came forward with the idea. It was a program that was just really getting started on the national scale around that time. There was a pilot program in Buffalo, and it started to spread. And we were, I think, the first or second in the state of Alabama Veterans Treatment Court program. There's a need for a lot of veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan and other places who they're having issues with mental health and emotional problems, and they're trying to self-medicate. That warrior mentality a lot of times keeps them, we've found, from seeking out the help that they need and that they're entitled to. And so instead of having them come through the criminal justice system and going to jail or going to prison, we're getting them help and getting them back on their 2 feet again. We've had a lot of success doing it.
Okay, so that means that we've been doing this, and I worked with you for more than 8 years now,
sir.
And been very successful in doing it and graduating veteran. Talk about the graduation.
Okay. After a veteran has successfully completed the program, the first thing we do on a session, if we have a veteran graduating, is we have them come up and we present them with a certificate. And I always reiterate to the veteran that the people involved in the Veterans Court program aren't going anywhere. So if those veterans find themselves in a situation where they feel like they need somebody to talk to or they need some help, we're still there.
Yeah,
You're still there.
Yes, sir.
And it's something that I feel is very important for them to know, that it's not just come through the program and you're done. It's a support system that they've been brought into to help them.
Okay. I have another question for you. Can you tell us that about your team and how do veterans get into treatment court?
Okay. First off with the team, the Veterans Treatment Court team, and I'll tell you this, have received extensive training. We've had people come in from DC to provide training here. We had federal funding, and we went out to a treatment court in Billings, Montana.
Yes,
we
sir.
all went out there and observed other courts to get ideas, share ideas, and came away with some good experiences with that. But our team is made up of Leroy Davis is the Veterans Treatment Court coordinating mentor. Let me get that all out. He is in charge of the mentors. One of the cornerstones of the Veterans Treatment Court program is a mentor, another veteran who is a friend when a friend is needed, in essence. If a veteran's having a difficult time, they can call the mentor. And we have mentors from various branches of service. We have various genders, and it's, like I said, it's one of the cornerstones of the program. And Lakeisha Stringer is another mentor, somebody I actually went to high school with.
Yes.
And I believe we've got a new mentor coming on.
Yes, Miss Williams.
Who is a recent graduate, actually.
Yes.
And then we've also got Miss Margarita High from the VA, who helps connect veterans with the services that they're entitled to. We have Mr. Tommy Powell and Miss Deborah Britton, who are the keepers of the records. Mr. Powell is the treatment court coordinator for Russell County, so he's over drug court, veterans court, and family drug court. And so anything a veteran does, he's got record of it. And then there's myself. We also have a veterans court prosecutor who is Justin Clark, and we have a veterans court defense attorney who's Chuck Floyd. And the veterans court's a little bit different than other courts because in reality we're all working towards one goal, and the one goal is to get the veteran help. That's a lot different than what people traditionally think of courts, which are adversarial systems. And as far as getting into the Veterans Court program, if a veteran has been charged with a crime, our most common crimes are DUI and possession of a controlled substance. Like I said, it's veterans self-medicating instead of seeking help. Once they're arrested, we have a process whereby defense attorneys, prosecutors, and local judges know the existence of our program, and they ask people coming into the Russell County Jail if they are a veteran. And if they are a veteran, they inform them of their possible eligibility for the Veterans Court program. The veteran fills out an application, it's submitted to the district attorney's office for review, and then ultimately submitted to me for review as well. And so all of these parties within the criminal justice system have to agree that this veteran would benefit from the program and would be an appropriate person to come into it. And like I said, it's a unique process because it's everybody working together to help the men and women who've served our country. And that's something I think a lot of people might not think about when they think about Veterans Court, but we do have women in the program.
And I'm glad you said that because, like you say, a lot of people don't think that women are involved, and a lot of people don't even know about Veterans Court. And that's why we consistently try to get the word out about that, because this is one of the largest classes that we have, I believe, because we're over 15 now, and we're not even really catching all of the veterans who need to be in this program.
That's true. And I feel like some of that is the warrior mentality. I mean, we can talk until we're blue in the face trying to explain to these guys and gals that this program will help them.
Exactly.
And sometimes they just can't bring themselves to admit they need help. And so that's something we're constantly battling.
And I wanted to mention, Judge, that I have met the the JAG officer at Fort Benton, and he had told me that he would like to come and visit our Veterans Court.
Absolutely.
So with your permission, we're going to invite him to come at our next Veterans Court so he can see what we do.
Absolutely.
And possibly get the word out to Fort Benton too, that it's okay.
And if you think way back to 2012, one of our first people was a gentleman who had gotten in some trouble over here, and we coordinated. He was an active duty veteran, and he had gotten in some trouble over here, and we coordinated with Fort Benning and Muskogee County, and everybody in those three jurisdictions came together and worked. A lot of times jurisdictions fight over issues, but my experience with Veterans Courts is that it's all hands on deck type thing, because we've worked well with Veterans Court in Florida as of this last 2 weeks. We've been coordinating with them. So it's something that is needed, and thankfully, praise the Lord, everybody's understood and everybody's working.
Everybody know that Veteran Court is for everyone, females as well as males. And to let people know that Veterans Court is a system that helps you, and we get you into a treatment program. So if it's dealing with family violence, we get you into a class, how should I say it?
Anger management.
Anger management class, that type of thing. And we also have other things that are available to us, such as the Veterans Treatment Center in Columbus, where only combat veterans can go, and they can take their family in, so they get the family treatment. So a lot of people probably don't know about the Vet Center. Where if you come into Veterans Court because of a family issue, then we're going to send you to the Vet Center, where they have counselors for the whole family.
Right.
And that's private. It don't get released to anyone.
Yep. And Veterans Court is open to combat and non-combat veterans. You don't have to be a combat veteran to enter into the Veterans Court program. And you touched on something with families, Leroy. A lot of times I think victims advocates may be afraid of treatment courts when it comes to issues with family violence. But the Veterans Court program we have developed brings the entire family in. And we have really good success with it, because the spouses have always been involved and have always been very supportive. I can't think of anything, knock on wood, praise the Lord, to date where we've had a victim adamantly opposed, or even opposed, period. Every victim thus far has been on board for getting their spouse help.
Okay, that's great. And one of the other things, while we have the judge here with us, is we are currently recruiting for mentors. So if you are a veteran who wants something to do in his spare time, male or female, we are currently recruiting. And you can see my phone number at the bottom of the screen, 706-718-4440. Contact me so we can do an interview and get you qualified to work in Veterans Court with Judge Johnson and myself and the whole team.
And even though Leroy's a Navy guy, we'll take all branches of service.
All branches.
We've got Navy, Air Force. I don't think we've had a Marine Corps representative.
We have
had
not
Army.
had.
We've had all the branches except for I think Marine and Coast Guard. So.
Yes. And I want to take a personal point of privilege right here to say to our audience out there that we have a new veteran clinic going up in Columbus on River Road. We are having a meeting Tuesday at 9 o'clock at the Civic Center in Columbus, where there's a lot of spacing. You have to wear your mask, because we have people that are trying to stop this clinic from being built. And that's something we don't need. We have a brand new clinic coming. $30 million have already been spent.
Wow.
And we have people that want it moved in the old health department, which it do not have enough room for what we are bringing in here. So I just want to get that out. So if you want to support us, come on Tuesday, July the 14th, to the Civic Center at 9 o'clock in the morning, and there will be a discussion about this clinic. And last but not least, before we close, I want to thank Mr. Green for allowing me to have this program, A Veteran's View. This television station have been so kind and friendly to me that I've been doing this program now for about 8 years as well. And so I look to keep on doing it, to get a veteran's voice out there, and also to interview veteran-owned businesses so that people can know where you're located in our community. And in our community means Phoenix City, Russell County, Columbus, Georgia, Casita, all the surrounding Chattahoochee Valley County. We want to talk to you if you are a veteran-owned business and help you also get your name out there. And I think that'll be all for today. Do you have any parting words, Judge?
I just want to say thank you and thank everybody involved in the Veterans Court program, and I hope that we can continue to serve veterans in the future.
Okay, thank you, Judge. And we'll see you next time right here on Veterans View here in Phoenix City on Beam TV.